All right, hello everybody. So here, I hope you guys have know who those familiar faces to you guys are. But if you guys don't know, that's Mary and Wolf and Paulina. So we're making a video together. We have a very good chat, and all of a sudden decide, just came in and building some video, talking about a lot of the things. And as you guys know, we all four of us, we're gonna be doing the workshop at Spain. But we were discussing a lot of the conversations here. We were discussing a lot of things. And here, from us to you guys, we're going to be doing some talk for people that are in the journey, two couples who, went with this. And we're going to be discussing a lot of things. So hopefully with this video, guys, you're going to get a lot of nuggets, bolts, and so on. So without other ado, I'm going to be leaving the microphone to Wolf and Mary. So guys, thank you for having us.
Thank
And
you. We just had to start recording because we were having this talk and it was lots of good information. So here
I
you
mean,
guys,
we can repeat some of the
here you
things,
guys
or we
go.
can dive with some of the things that we talk up here,
Yeah.
in there. And I know that I did a very great interview. So you guys asked us a lot of questions about me and Paulina and the way that the journey went into it. You guys was talking about your story in there about this intensity and how the universe actually lock you down. Talking about this lockdown with this. Um, but if I have to, kind of like a share here between me and Paulina to this situations like a lot of the couples facing, for example, um, power struggle, power or moving within the journey, getting all this cleaned out, all those things, and so on in there. Actually, we did. That's how she and I we begin our journey with doing the inner work on ourselves. So when we are ready, we are ready, and we did a lot of work. And I'm so proud of both of us in there. But now that we are talking about here, now you guys can ask us the questions that you guys wanted to ask. And Paulina, now, Mike is yours. So if you want something, say.
Okay, I think it will come and flow naturally. But we were just discussing how both our stories are a little bit different. So I think we can even start with that. Like, I'm not sure if that would be useful just to try to reiterate what we were discussing just for the people who don't know our story yet, or if you guys want to provide also some details from your story. If that's something useful that people may be wondering, we can go ahead to explain how it really the separation phase was looking with us, because we've already been through one or more separations through the journey. This time was just a different person, but we had a chance, and we, instead of putting the focus on another person during the separation, we kind of knew what was going on. And I think it's different to what you guys were experiencing. And Mary, you can comment on that, but it looks to me that that might have been your first soul connection, that you're we're kind of like getting started with Wolf, and that's how you were learning. And for me, for example, and we can go back, of course, to you later. Just wanted to share my perspective. Like, I've already been in a journey quite a few years, but I started with the separation. But since the moment of a separation, I had to learn to get separate from my twin, like person who is, got me ignited on the journey. And I had to realize that that was what kept me back, honestly, on the journey. This kind of mindset that that person will be coming back, because I was getting all the synchronicities and universe saying that your divine masculine is waking up and all this. So my vision was so distorted. So I had to really learn the proper way, that it's not about the person. It's really about, do you allow these energies to flow, and do you want to progress on your journey, or Do you want to still be in your mindset that your twin has to come back until you start, doing anything and progressing? So that's my view on that, how it's different.
It was very interesting about the separations in there. We are both went through, we understood the process of separation. But during the ignitions, during our thing, we had one thing, and we still have it. We know what is going. You see the smiley face. We knew the journey where we are going. But through the separation process, in there, we both know how to navigate it, the wisdom. I knew how to navigate with the process that was going on in her, but at the same time, I was navigating properly myself. We were communicating, we were talking about things, and there was a point of time like, oh, what is it going on? You hear the thing. When the one wants to run, the other says like, no, I don't chase. I stopped chasing a long time ago. I don't chase. Okay? And when we're talking about within this, that bubble that you said that you and Mary guys have in there, our bubble was kept in us, is there. It's like, what am I running from? Where are you going to be? Into there within that within the journey. But what was the beauty is that she and I, it doesn't matter what's going on, where we are in the journey. We knew that, yeah, we can go ahead, we can tell the people, we can get the clients, we can go, we can do this, but we knew something else is coming. We knew that we have to get this transition knowledge of this graduating, as you said in your video, Wolf, is bring it back into the people. And in order to be teaching people, to getting into the people with this graduation state, as the twin flame, we found our purpose. And love, compassion, inner peace, going with the flow, and going deep. And the more deep we go, the deeper the love. The more deep we're going, she makes me to go more deep. The more deep I go, she goes more deep as well. We're so blessed with this journey. Hopefully the people are getting into this. And we're here to make an example. We're not here to compete, compare. We're here to share. And that's what wants. This is just this beauty of these connections to shows up. So you guys now can. I mean, I talk too much. I don't know. I got something in Sagittarius.
No.
You're perfect. You're perfect. I talk too much too usually. So I'm gonna see what Mary wants to say this time.
I think back to maybe what Paulina said, because it's funny how you got me. I think I didn't ask necessarily for this connection with Ulf, and in many ways, although I've always done my self work and tried to refine myself on my own, for as long as I can remember. You're only at where you're at, and I will say that I was previously with somebody who there was a lot of love, there was a lot of consciousness in the dynamic, but the level that it was at is not comparable when in terms of how much energy we're holding, how much ancestral things I'm actually clearing, and just for my own transformation. It was not on the same scale that I would say that Ulf's was, like my connection to Ulf was. And I think I pushed away that connection to Ulf very much in the beginning because there was no rationality to it. And then, but eventually we find each other and we come together. So it is, I think, different. My journey coming into what we are coining, maybe not necessarily us, but the community, the twin flame, was very different because I didn't experience perhaps what you all three have, which is kind of gaining the wisdom through through other connections. So that's something that I've learned, and I think it's been a little harder of of a start.
It's been harder for Mary than
Not comparing like
the,
with anyone's journeys, but
yeah.
keep the wisdom, and I think that so many people deal, like you also say, like
'Cause she got the good connection.
yeah.
She got the good connection first off with me, you know, first right off the bat, you know. So I had
Congrats,
a
Mary.
few runs with some bad connections that was like,
yeah, but
really
uh,
challenging me, you know. But
uh,
and you guys got the good connection coming together, so yeah, I get kind of what she's saying here.
I wouldn't have necessarily
we had to really both you and me, Dio, as I known you for since 2014 15 when you came on the scene, and with Paulina too, I'm hearing a previous connection, that kind of that separation phase that leads you to go in search of the divine on your own. That's kind of and that's something that Mary is learning how to do within the connection, and I think that's a little bit more challenging actually, because you don't have this big gaping hole, which the connection leaves when they separate. You just sit there and you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? I had this exalted state of consciousness. I felt like a living modern mystic there for a while, and we were like talking to God and shit, and all of a sudden they go, what's
That's
going
the
on?
point.
Well, where did it go?
the boy.
Did
The one.
I popped the balloon?
Yeah, actually, the first time I talked to you, I can see like now, and even the energy of Mary, like she gives you this driven freshness. It's a similar like what I have with Paulina, is that freshness that it just gives this juice, this power. I feel like a horse being pulled out of the stable that has been holding for so long. And I'm just like, just zooming in there. But I learned that when she gives me that energy in there, I know what I need to do. I'm getting the energy, and I'm just very gently and loving and caring explain what happens and all this. I talked to her about what the downloads are. We are discussing a thing. Of course, we have similar things happens in our lives. One does this, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, I did that too. That's normal things. But when I'm talking about this beauty, it is that her intuitions and energies when it comes within me, it just makes me drive more. And I see the same energies within in you too, guys. It's just like she's like the gasoline and you're the engine. That's how the car running. Okay. And it's so beautiful what you do. Just that's all I want to mention. But she learned. I can see the energy. She's just yeah.
But
So
she's had a much rougher life and start upbringing, childhood, and she went into the spiritual tradition. I'm guessing Paulina has too, with the
My yogi.
stricter with your yogi sisters, with stricter spirituality, and so in many ways she was. Even though I've been longer on this path, she was more disciplined in her spiritual practice. She was more disciplined in her approach to the work, and so with her Capricorn energy, all of a sudden I got a partner, a maiden, and a father energy in there. It's like telling me, be disciplined, boy. I'm like, okay.
and you're an
I'll go
Aquarius.
do my homework.
And you're an Aquarius.
Yeah.
I just want to rebel, all day long. Revolution.
Yeah, actually, it's so interesting that if you look at it, Capricorn and Aquarius are neighbors, and Paulina is Virgo. We also neighbors. In there, I was talking about it at some point. Astrology is not doing it because in the spiritual our spiritual levels, it's all connected into there. Learning I'm kind of like a relearning the astrology right now to know this, but it shows up that it doesn't matter who you are, when you are, what you are, and so on. When the soul, when the spirit says like you two, you two have a green line. Oh boy, whatever you're trying to work it out, it doesn't work out, and then it's like, okay, universe, I surrender. I raise my hands and I surrender. Laura Pausini had that song.
White flag.
I think that's a good question too for Paulina, because we missed it on the recording part of it. But when we were discussing, I know you mentioned that you had some fears that you had to overcome when it came to coming into the connection with Dio, and also overriding some of that practicality and earthly stuff. So I wonder.
And the belief system of the
how you did
twin
that.
flame,
Yeah.
and then experiencing a second twin flame, kind of with Dio, like how you had to break that down. That would be.
Honestly, yes, I can talk about that. Honestly, what kept me on a journey was this curiosity to understand how this dynamic works. And I was like, if I only had my twin come back to me and we are back in union and I have another person to share, and just to explain to each other how, like, why you were running, why I was chasing, why this on that. And I really that was kind of my, I would say, intention, just to, I was not even interested in the separation phase to be ended just, for the sake of getting person back. I was more curious about understanding the process. So what the universe says, like they reply to you, like, it's just asking you to receive. So I got another chance for another connection that understood the connection even on a higher level. That's what happened in separation. Like you raise in vibration, you learn a lot. So you will be matched with someone else at the same level. So it was more of a curiosity that I could see the potential in the connection. But still, I was in my head, I knew that person is my twin. How can I let go? And also at some point my mind was not able, not like I was not able to turn off this emotional attachment and this kind of a longing that, oh, maybe this person will be back. And I felt hopeless because I knew I was trying to putting that in my head, this person, it's over, you really cannot be stuck. I was getting these dreams that I really have to let go. People, random people on the street stopping me, we have conversation at some point, they say, you have to let go, like let go of the past. I'm like, what is this? And I really tried, but there was something that I couldn't get beyond this threshold. So I think that what this connection that we had when we finally met in person with Dio, that was this energy that kind of helped me to push me, because I had the best intention. It was just for some reason there was this connection between me and this person that still was keeping me nostalgic about it and keeping me as a hopeful for that. But I wanted to let go because I saw that there is so much more. I didn't want that to stop me from just exploring more, and I got my help. That's how I see it. It's just there was way more interesting for me to see the potential in the another connection, just be able to exchange the information and just exchange whatever it's you learn from other people. But my fears were partially regarding um maybe getting closer to someone once again and trusting completely, because you're sure that everything will work out, and then suddenly person leaves you at this unexpected moment and everything just shatters. So I think I was a little bit afraid of that. And also, I think the personal preference regarding the person, that was a big part, because we all have visions for our ideal partners until we are meeting with this kind of a force, I would say, that wants you to have a proper partner for you. It doesn't really matter what the box is. It's just you have to look into, like, in this bigger picture, but I have to overcome this. And I would say at first, I'm not sure if Dio was the same, but I felt like I'm pushing myself into this, just getting closer to the person that I don't consider as like my, from the same like physical or character and all this, as my partner I would normally choose. It was more we were kind of created this situation, and we know that's the right thing to do, but I had to just put aside my preference, like human based thinking. Oh, are you attracted to this person? There was the intense energies between us. It was not this chemical attraction you have towards person that you want to get with them right away. It was more, we didn't want that, but the energy were pushing no matter what. So those were the fears. Also, probably not repeating the same mistakes, because you don't want to get dependent on one person because another person can leave again. And so this balancing, and also, some intimacy issues and all this, like on top of that. But at some point, when the energies were too close or too strong between us, and it just had to flow, we had to allow this. I think, explaining briefly, it was me versus my fears, because Dio was staying in the background. He was like, Paulina, I cannot push you, I'm gonna be sitting there, you do your work. And then I know this is just my decision, and I could clearly see, okay, Paulina, so you have two choices here. You can stay in your fears and your preference and just, or you can go into the complete darkness. You have no idea what's on the other side. So I think my moon in Aquarius helped me so much. It's like, okay, I see some challenge here. Let me just go into the darkness. I was like, oh fuck this fears. I was too curious about what connection can bring and what's on the other side. So that's what I got my help in just overcoming to this next stage. And then when we started doing this work with Dio, when we got connected in union, we started getting more understanding about the process, that it's not one twin flame and it's just way broader picture.
Yeah.
So that was for me.
The moments that she overcome her fears, and I only talk of one thing. You understand what you're getting yourself into it, you have to stay next to me. You know what she said? Those words are right here. I will be proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting next to you. And this crucial moment, she opened up all this energy. So we start having this understanding, and throughout the talks, the communications, need to understand we did a lot of inner work during the long distance, but that inner work should have been done within proper way of before this physical end union, like in the end in there. And we begin to understand, as Paulina said, the journey, as I did, the twin flame. It was never about the other person, you to be in union with your twin flame. It was the first of all and the most. At the moment you sorry guys, but that's usually happens with us. Every time we're talking something that it's confirming true to the phones, just think, get used to it. It's working within us. We know that this is our thing. But talking about this is we went out through the deeply to dive deeply within everything. And through the deepness, we found so many answers. Answers that the communities needed, answer of corrections, answers of things. And then we begin all of a sudden to, because I watched a few videos of Mel, but I haven't watched it. And then the videos of Mel begins to comes in, explaining to us what we actually are. He knew about us. He knew about it. Because things that he was talking about it, that was within us. So we went out to a lot of study. We studied the religions. We studied the alchemy. We studied the spiritualities. We studied so many things to understand and verify the processes. We are not just studying. We were going deep to the roots. And we understand what does that comes in. And then build it from within there. Why we were like this. What is our connection? What is our purpose? What that beautiful, powerful love is. Fears in me that I have to overcome with Paulina. She said, there was no this, physicality right away. Just like, that was not there. more connections that was there. That was a mutual respect within ourselves, deep within the soul and the hearts, like humans. That was different base. It was not this thinking there. And we know where this is gonna go. We know where it is. Even at the beginning, they told us, when we got together, when they just put us together.
That was interesting, actually. Like, you got this even, like, Dio is just getting more visions and more, I would say, connections, these intuitive messages. And the first time that we realized to go to the next level, like, he was getting information. It's like this physicality or this physical attraction, it's gonna be developed. Like, don't worry, guys. And really, I can see that it's coming. If you start from this higher grounds and really starting to build that on a proper base, these things can be developed. Like, I'm still surprised, but it's totally the opposite way how people would be expecting. But really bringing from this higher dimensions and all this big love and this magical state, just going step by step to the physical. And I'm getting excited about our meeting in physical, right? Like, instead of being, as previously I had this experience of fears or, oh my god, what's gonna happen, right now it's this healthy excitement. I don't want to say wild
This
passion, but
inner
it's very
happiness.
weird to see this shift, this, it really can be developed. So, sorry, babe.
It's because
That's okay.
the connection starts in the astral body, and that's the difference between relationships and the soul to soul connections or the twin flame journey. We connect in the astral first, then we connect in all the 7 energy bodies: the mental, emotional, pain body, our traumas, then the sexual body, and then the physical body. The etheric levels first, and then the physical. And whereas in regular relationship, they connect physically first, and then they might have a mental and emotional connection on top of that, but never really. And then sexual, maybe a pain body connection, and then it kind of stops there. So it doesn't go all the way up.
Well, it does, but maybe you don't become conscious of it necessarily.
The awareness, yeah. A lot of the connections, the awareness,
I think
yeah.
it stops. I think it stops within the, and they don't get a shared unified field either.
Well, no,
in a relationship, they don't get a shared unified field. So the astral body and and the same with the 12 chakras as well. They don't have the 12 chakras activated in a relationship. Most people don't even have the 7 chakra system fully online. So when we're activated in all the 12 chakras and in the meridians, and then all the energy bodies, that's when the alchemy happens, and that's what makes these connections alchemy and so powerful and so intense and amplified. Whereas in regular relationships, you don't have those components that make, yeah. So I feel very blessed to be on this journey. I feel very blessed to have been given this gift. It has certainly not been easy, and when they end, I definitely understand that fear of having it end again. That was always my greatest fear too, because I was like, I think Mary's my 8th soul connection, and Mel was just like, oh, you need a freaking helmet, like go back and eventually you'll get it right, Ulf. Eventually you'll get it right. And I'm like, thank you so much for the vote of confidence, Mel. I'm here bringing quality information to the community, and everybody hates me because I'm talking about my second twin flame, and I was one of the first people out there with that information, and nobody wanted to hear it. The whole community was like,
my god, I remember.
Oh, no, Ulf. No,
I remember back in the
You're
days.
swearing in church. You're swearing in church.
And I remember back in the days because of this programming, the beginning when I started, I know that some of the videos there I was talking about there is only one twin, and I was talking about only a second twin, and you have to keep on going on a journey and so on and so on. There was a point of me sometime Dio, you should delete some of those videos. And inside of me, the spirit says, you delete that, that's not gonna be right. I'm asking why. And Mel said one thing in there. For this time of period that I'm talking to you guys, this is the date, and for this moment of time, this is the truth. But when are we going to evolve it? The truth may be changing. So for that moment of time, that was recording truth the way it was. And talking about being within other soul connections in there, that is when you actually get through your head that this is a personal journey. You graduating from ignition, from even before that, before you started the journey, me and Paulina, we started doing some series that we talk about it. We named it Stage Zero. What happened? It just going through that in there. But from these moments in there, you only need another person just to reflecting. The mirror is what? Reflections
Yeah.
of what you are. You see what you're missing within you to develop within yourself. But you're getting at that story, mirror, mirror on the wall, tell who is the best of all, right? And you love the mirror. You get the obsessions with the mirror, getting less obsessions. While it is about you to become the best version of yourself, you to get ready yourself personally this journey, you to mature, you to get this uh, intellect as a twin flame to navigate this journey, to trust the divines, and then whatever the divine, you get to the front of this before this threshold when they pull you up in the next level, you know, you after the illumination process, you got illuminated of what the real truth is about the twin flames, and after that, that threshold, the truth, you kind of like stay there for a little bit. You kind of like, I don't need a soul connection. I already got what I want. I don't need to be with nobody. I'm good. I'm loving myself. I'm, all this and all this. And the universe, like, oh, he's ready. He doesn't need nobody. But he doesn't know that what we have for him. And that's what that comes in. You get to this point, like, I'm cool. Even if I'm going to get a partner, I'm okay with the divine. If I don't get a partner, I'm perfectly fine on my own. That is it. What happens is when you are ready and you stand on your own power. A lot of the twin flames, the people who are on the twin flames journey, they don't stand on their own power. They are like, when am I twin flame? When am I twin flame? They go chasing what their twin flame does. They spend and waste the time of tracking and what is it they doing? They're not doing themselves.
Stalking.
I don't want it to say it, but we're all guilty of sin, right? Talking,
Stalking, obsessing,
yes, and it's
creating 4 Facebook accounts to, whatever it is.
yeah. Oh man, this is
Being
a
in all the Facebook groups talking only about this person they believe to be the twin, like,
we know all about that. I mean, come on, the twin flame community is full of this. I mean, it is
it's like,
beautiful.
stop what you're doing, turn it all off. If you need to, deactivate your social media for 3 months. Go find yourself. Go find the divine. Go for walks in nature. And oh my God, you're gonna realize, wow.
Exactly, and that's what it was. Actually, when you say 3 months, darling Paulina, how many months did you travel? 3 months.
3.5. That was a
You
good,
made
good time.
it. But I think it's
Yeah.
important to note that sometimes, like I know for me, it comes upon you when you're not searching for it. When something is ready for you, you don't have to force it. I think that's important to emphasize for people that are also yearning. when I got into this connection with Ulf, that was the first time I was like, you know what, like I'm good. Like
I don't need
I
nobody.
don't need love anymore, you know. So it but I think it's just about the difference is there's a capacity to hold a certain amount of energy, and the only difference with us perhaps is that we are able to hold the energy and our consciousness for a long enough period of time to navigate it, where maybe the energy becomes misplaced throughout the twin flame community, or they meet their potential and they have these sparks of opening up their energy and also being able to navigate masculine and feminine, you know, in a union, and then they fall out of it, you know, and then they're searching for not actually maybe the other person, but like Ulf said, just the ability to embody their potential again. And so they confuse these energies and maybe what they want, and they put the value on the people should be valued, but you know, that's their permission slip instead of giving it back to themselves. Whereas I especially see, like, you guys have been able to navigate and hold your energy for long enough that when this did come for you, it's more sustainable and you can derive the most benefit. But I do think there's a lot of people where it just happens upon them, or they don't actually know how to navigate their own energies, keep their own frequency up, and so then it gets a lot messier, or they go from exalted to.
And then you have a lot of fake twin flame teachers who are not even on this journey, who have learned this belief system, learned the rules and all those things, and memorized Leora's information, all these former previous twin flame paradigm information, and making money off of those people, making money off of those lost souls who want to get back to that, oh, the one that left me, you know. And then you have these people, oh, I can bring the one back to you if only you do my $399 program. I'll get them back to you. I'll make you, you know. And that's this Disney-esque fantasy in this the one true love belief system and the obsession. Then it becomes a mental illness out of that, with the stalking, with the obsession, with the twin flame groups and all that stuff. And you get an inflamed mental body, you get an inflamed emotional body, and then this energy doesn't go in search of the divine at all. It doesn't go in search of that third energy. They don't find their true power. They don't. So they get lost and they get stuck in that twin flame hole. And it's cold and it's lonely there, and it sucks to be in that hole. I've been in that hole. And that's why I do this work. That's why I make my information, because I don't want people to be in that place of, you know, lost and cold and lonely and longing for something that might never be. I had a client that waited 20 years for her twin flame to return, and they lived right next to one another in the same city, and they would always drive past one another to work for 20 years.
Just for curiosity, what was her hair color?
she was a blonde Swedish lady.
I don't want to say anything, but I had a dream about the lady that she said, I was waiting for this love to come back all my life, and it didn't. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to. It's just shook me so much that I don't know. I'm getting even very emotional right now, but I cannot be this woman. You know, this scene.
No.
It was holding me, and like, you have to move out from that. You have to really go to the next step. Just detach from this connection. You know, it was really keeping me going. You can say thank you to her.
She hated me. She hated me too, because I wanted to help her experience her own power, own love. So I said, take away the name, take away the face. What are you left with? This energy. Can you close your eyes and feel that energy? But, and then his name and his what? No, she couldn't stop obsessing, you know, and so I I know she probably hates me still. I can feel her out there, just like she did
Uh,
not want
yeah,
to.
that's what comes in. Actually, well, talking about helping people and the clients and so on, I begin to understand on the journey that a lot of the people, they come to you and they want hear the answer. Oh yeah, can you confirm he's my twin flame? I told them, you
Yeah.
know, nobody can confirm this except the divine. That's it. You go to the front gate of the divine. When you're ready, the divine confirms. The divine who makes the connections in there. And even though that me and Paulina we talk about because we are progressing, we are working on our projects with our tanks in there, and we are not, as you said, you know, with those teachers and so on about the twin flame community, is like we're not compete or compare with them. We're here to share, not to compete and compare. That is old stuff. This is a situation. This is a things from the past. We are not compete to compare. No, there's no competitions in here. Because if you will compete to compare about it, it is about that we're going back into the old paradigm. We just get out of there. You want to go back in there? You know, when you compete to compare, it's like your relationships. What do you compete to compare for? With who?
There's no competition in divine blueprint
Oh,
because you're in your divine blueprint. It's like a big piece of a big puzzle, and so there you are that piece of the puzzle piece. This other person is that piece of the puzzle piece. So when you're in your divine blueprint, you don't compete anymore. You just show up. You just hi, hello.
But
yeah.
that's the key lesson here is the embodiment. So if you're embodying your fullest potential, then you're, and I think that's where my belief systems, and I'm still discovering them, or and also unlearning some of them, is that if you just can embody your potential, then this type of experience is open for you, and and a lot of where we see fall short is just people um, not embodying their potential, their divine blueprint, and then you see other people that have a call to it and maybe they're not embodying it, so it's a little bit inauthentic, and other people get pulled into that trap. That's definitely a reality that
And twin flames is big money these days.
yeah,
So you also have that.
and there's
I'm a little bit cynical.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit. I got
Try to
cynical
be nice
glasses.
about
So after all these years of being on this path, I see the truth for what it is, and I call shit, and I call toilet paper, and the bathroom. So we all kind of know where it is, what is what. Doesn't matter. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, actually, the way I see it, that in the future, what's going to happen is as we evolve, and there are people going to understand.
the
Where,
Aquarius guys, Aquarian age.
oh yeah, talking about this Aquarius stuff a little bit, but come on, her her moon is over my Jupiter right on the dot, right on the same degree, just like we have. That's what we called ourselves Aqua Spirit United, because we have four. I have two, and she has two planets in Aquarius. But two of them are our moons, our emotions, our intuitions. Everything is there in Aquarius. How we are in there. But talking about the future about it, is the people they're gonna begin to have the proper understanding about the energies exchange, because the soul is gonna guilt tripping in them when they become awakened. Oh, I spoke with this person, I should have paid. I did this, I should have done. The proper understanding is gonna become the intellect. Is like, okay, I got something out of this. Here, I'm gonna donate something, or this is gonna come in. But when we're talking about like, I had some people coming in to me. It's like, Dio, I went to this. I won't mention names. They did the twin flame reading for me, and I'm supposed to be in a union. I was supposed to be in union a month ago. Can you tell me on astrology wise why it didn't happen? And I said, first thing, Let me tell you here. If you ever hear that I'm looking at for in the future within the astrology, I may tell you just a few nuggets, but I'm not looking for the astrology. I even don't want to study the future of astrology, but I can study you and tell you what that is. You did one big mistake. You went out and you're seeking for the future, and I'll explain it to you why you're not doing it. Because here's what happens. This is the timeline that the thing's supposed to happen. So here is your Mr. Impatient or Mrs. Impatience comes to this point right here. It's like, I want to know the future. And all of a sudden you come here without all this to understand it. And now, since you know the future, you're like, okay, I will twist this here. I will twist this there. I will get to this position. I will get to this. And here is, it's coming the day that you thought whatever the future was telling you to. It doesn't happen. Why? You are not in this space time of properly internally. You did your inner work to be in this. You're in a soul twisted timeline. So now the timeline is not there anymore. What do you need to do? You go back in here and you do your inner work. You start it all over. Okay? And that's what there
Beginning
is.
at the beginning.
And they don't like it. I mean, I had some people who they comes in with these obsessions, and of course I tell them the truth. I don't care if they like it or not. I have to tell them the truth. They come to me. If they don't like the truth, they don't like themselves. I mean, I had some people comes in with the devil's eye, the like dark energies and so on. And there had some people who taken advantage of my goodness and so on. That's okay. That's fine. Okay, that's all good. It's all great in there. It's only about one thing: the community to get the proper information. That's what I was scared about. The person to go deep from within. Someone comes in, it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I went through this, and this, huh? They don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay, give me your date of birth. I'm going there. I'm looking at just for like 10 minutes in there. This, and this. What happens to you? And you got these situations because this and this. Bang. What happened to you? Well, if you want to talk, we can talk. Another case in there. Somebody comes in. It's like, dear, what should I do? What it is? And I look at it. What can you see from within yourself? Our job as a guides, as a twin flame guides, as a coaches, if you wish to call us. However, we came in to look at it to tell the people to look and to find their true selves. And what I'm finding out that a lot of us we've spoken about the community right now is about people still obsessed psychology issues, emotional issues, trauma issues, energy issues, because they are waiting on somebody to fix their problems. They want the magic pill. They want their twin flame that comes in. They want something that is going to happen. But if they did the inner work within themselves, within the divine, or not okay. The proper role, the proper energies, the proper vibrations, and everything. Click. Alchemy, right? Alchemy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I think? It's just even if you have people who are seeing those things the old way and they will just keep repeating the same story. Maybe that's what they believe in. Maybe that's the money. That's where they feel money will be coming because but the problem is different. It's just not enough people is saying that from the proper perspective because people don't even take it into account that you may have more than one twin, let's say more than one twin flame. For example, if they were able to hear this kind of a sentence at the beginning of their journey, their mind would be a little bit bigger than that instead of reiterating the old information, just setting that even more solid because this is a belief system. So the more you hear it and the more you research online, you hear everyone's repeating the same thing. So what your mind will be doing, you will take it as a truth. So I think it's not a matter of, people sharing wrong. I mean, I wish people were sharing that from the proper perspective, but maybe that's why they believe in, maybe that's their truth, because they didn't reach the next stage. So I think adding any kind of comments, and I was telling that to Dio, is like, I'm out. Like, I don't even want to start any conversations between what other people are doing. I'm really grateful because it will resonate with some people on the journey. But I want to bring this topic even out of discussion for now, because I see that what it does to me, it's just, it kind of puts me back on this track of what other people are doing. And even if it's regarding the misinformation, I think the proper way is just to get the right mindset as much as possible, and then they start to share the right information, because we cannot fight with this masses that is already there. Like, we cannot remove the YouTube videos. It's just to have enough people to share the right information from this higher standpoint, once they got this higher understanding and see the truth.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a problem. I think what other people are preaching is they believe in that, right? Like, because that's, I used to believe that. I felt that as a truth, and I felt like cheating this truth. The moment we started getting connected, I felt like I literally cheated on my twin flame. I felt guilty, So I kind of processed that, but it just shows me, how strong was this belief system to make you even feel guilty about doing some things, although it came from the higher order.
Absolutely the same. I had the same experience. Like, cause I was when I was with my first connection, we were like the poster children for twin flames in many ways. We were like one of the four big ones sharing information online. My website had 200,000 hits in 2014. So a lot of people were reading our twin flame belief system information, and I firmly believed it all. I was speaking to Leora at least once a week. I was being trained by Mel. So I was in this machine, just like, okay, there's one twin flame, and if I stray, if I leave her, I'm leaving God. I'm cheating on God. I'm not just cheating on my twin flame. I'm cheating on God. Oh my God. It was really, really big in my whole body. And I know she felt it too. It was intense. It was like a religion, and stronger than a religion, because you had experienced freaking God in that bubble face. You had experienced that divine connection. So I knew God firsthand. I knew the face of God. I knew the energy of God. I knew source creative energy was flowing through me, and I was an emissary, a messenger of the divine. And I could do these amazing things in my healing sessions. I could bring people's twin flames back through some cord cutting and etheric work and astral work, and all of a sudden but they weren't ready because they hadn't done the work yet, so they would explode. Then all of a sudden somebody told me, you probably shouldn't even be doing that cord cutting work and bringing them back together, because that's not your job. I'm like, no, just because I can do it doesn't mean I should do it. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, she left me. I started working with Mel. She came back. She visited me. But then I was looking at her while we were eating dinner and stuff, and talking to her, and things were not working out. We were kind of breaking it off, and I'm like, we probably shouldn't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And so she went home, and she thought it was just a separation. She was of this idea that the twin flame would return, right? I would come back someday. I was all of a sudden the runner, while she had been running the whole connection. I've been chasing, I was, don't leave me, don't leave me. I was all in my feminine energy, and she was so in her masculine energy. It was like god awful. It was there was nothing masculine about me anymore. There was nothing feminine about her anymore. We were like completely polarized. And then all of a sudden, she goes home, and I have a second connection, and I have all this information up, and I'm one of the leaders of the community. I was one of the big four. I was doing videos with Lee and Sherry. I was doing videos with Mel. You know, I was talking to Leora. Leora was always complimenting me on my articles and things, and it was absolutely amazing. And then I'm sitting there experiencing a second twin flame, and I'm like, what am I gonna do now? And I felt so guilty for experiencing this connection with this second connection with this person. And I knew that this other connection that I had been in connection with was sitting in another part of the world hurting and believing that I would probably return, that I was cheating on her and I was cheating on God and I was cheating on the energy and everything. And I was just having the time of my life in a new connection, still learning, still growing, still figuring things out, and having my whole perception of this twin flame belief system just blown to pieces. And I was sitting there in the rubble like, what am I going to do? First of all, I'm going to have to take my website down. So my website with 200,000 hits, boom, gone. Okay, what am I going to do with all my videos here? I've been talking to this other soul connection for 3 years, addressing in the videos, and oh my God, I'm going to have to take all those down too, because I'm talking about the one true twin and the one true love. So everything just had to come down, everything, and I just had to start from scratch. And what am I going to do?
Yeah, experiencing pretty much the same thing, except that you can't during this hour moment.
Yeah.
I remember at boy, what year was that? That was exactly when actually my channel, my YouTube channel, was just skyrocketing. I was pumping out of videos, the great videos at the beginning, just pulling it up, talking about this primary, you know, like somebody primed the engine, and you just got this primary force inside of you, get all these energies out, all these informations out. And I was experiencing a second separation with a second twin. And I'm like, I'm done with this shit. Just done with it. You know, screw this. And I was like, I was sitting there on the Facebook, and I'm just like, you know, tears are crying out of me. I'm like, it's enough, it's enough. And I'm delete this friend, 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 delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. I had like 5,000 people on Facebook, you know, they were connecting to me and so on. And I'm like, I'm done with this job. I went to 100 on Facebook. Like, you can't delete this person. What? You can't delete this person. What? Yeah, you can't delete this person. I'm clicking there. I wanted to keep my Facebook. I don't wanted to close my Facebook, but I wanted to get rid of the people because there was a lot of codependency in there, a lot of situations, a lot of energies in there. So I didn't want to have to talk to nobody. I didn't want to deal with nobody. I didn't want to do anything anymore. Just tower moment, right?
Disappear.
Yeah, there's 5,000 people, you know, because they could not understand when I was talking about the second connection. But here it comes in a second connection. It's tower moment for the then it comes in another connection, then it comes in another connection, and then it comes another connection. And even last night we were making a video. It's like, Dio, I thought that you are in the connections, and what happened with this one before? Doesn't matter what happened before. It stays there in the past. Is it there? But as about those moments in there, there is something I don't know, maybe that's how I'm built in there. When I'm hearing the divine says, don't do this, I'm like, okay. All right, it's yours. I found out that videos, the videos that I put down there, they were not mine. That was the divine talk through me. I was just the tool.
Yeah.
It's the same thing right now. We are only the tool to the divine and given a that energies. But boy, those towers, yeah. Oh, oh, you're talking about.
But I think it's important just to leave those kind of like materials and videos, because that's, you have to start somewhere, and I think you cannot enter the journey probably, you know, if it came to me, I was going through step by step, and there are different people go talking about it, and some people are very high level, some people go into more details from different perspectives. And I was talking to Gio that Mel's videos, they were not resonate with me at first. You know, the first I clicked and opened his video, I was like, who is this man? Like, it's just it's too boring, you know, this like a very, I don't know, I just threw it off, and it came back to me a few months later, and I started realizing the value. But meanwhile, when I was preparing for that, I was watching those videos from those guys that are more popular, and it helped me to navigate, like just to have this sense of community. So I think again, we cannot fight this. There are different layers of the truth, and I think that's what we have to respect. And people on the journey who has to progress, you will outgrow it, because I could sense that, you know, I was changing mentors, let's say, or people that I was following to learn more. Like sometimes like every 2 weeks, you know, because I kind of got my knowledge, but then something didn't feel right, and it's just, that's how you go up. So especially if you have a gift, you know, to talk to people, I think it's nothing wrong. And just accept, okay, that you believed in what you were saying there. So it was true at some point. So probably it will help some people on the way.
Yeah.
There's a value in there.
I just had a hard time with the integrity of it all, because
Can be hard.
if I was gonna continue with being a teacher, how was I gonna teach now that I didn't believe in anything anymore? I didn't believe in. I was like blank slate. I don't know anything about anything except for what I'm experiencing right in this moment. What am I experiencing? So that's kind of where I started sharing, and so and that's kind of where my material begins now. It begins at that moment of, so what do I do now? I don't
have to
Yeah.
have those
twin
reset
flame anymore.
moments.
I can't speak on that label. Okay, what is the twin flame? What is the blueprint here? What's really going on? I gotta figure it out now. So I went back to the alchemy, and then the alchemy showed me, oh, we are the living blueprint of alchemy. This is the process. We are. That's why we activate other people with the 12 chakra system, with the open meridians. That's why we make great healers. That's why people in our vicinity enter a process all of a sudden. They have no choice. Every woman I've ever met went into a dark night of the soul right off the bat. So I'm like, oh my God, am I cursed or something?
Oh my God.
Am I Hades?
He just likes his women from ages, 25 to 27. That's really what.
No.
No, they were not.
My third soul
Saturn
connection. She was 2 or 3 years older than me, and there was a level of spiritual maturity there that made us able to have sustainable connection for longer than I was used to. But then ancestral crap comes in, the pattern starts to kick in, and the shit gets activated, and nobody wants to be accountable for what they're carrying in their ancestral backpack. And then again.
Yeah.
And so then
It is
I was
what it
like,
is.
okay, I don't want to do this anymore either. I don't want to experience this etheric abortion in my unified field where the bathtub plug all of a sudden gets pulled and I'm sitting there in a cold freaking freezing bathtub. No. I don't want to experience that kind of unified field anymore. So I decided I was going to be on my own too.
You should see
Yeah.
me, what I was when I would begin, I made the video, the most controversial video I ever made. It's called the Twin Flame, the replacement. I remember back in the days. Boy, go ahead and look at it underneath some of the comments in there, or people that connected to me. It's like, yo, what the hell are you? Give us a little bit. But going
I'm gonna
back,
go look at it after this video.
you should see some of the comments. You're gonna laugh in there. But talking about the back in the days, that was it. The moment after this tower, when the device say, the quitters never win and the winners never quit. How that goes for you, Dio? Boy, I'm going out there for like a month. I didn't make video. I disappeared from YouTube. I went in hermit mode. I went in the priest mode. And just like, and I'm going to sleep. As quitters never win.
I love your higher self, Dio. Your
Yeah,
higher self.
and I'm going on in there, and it's like, okay. I have to get in there. I have to go back. I can't change what I am. I'm a twin flame. Screw this. I can't change this. I can't. I'm trying to escape. You can. You cannot escape your journey. No matter how hard you will try to run away. You can go and even in a darn island where there's nobody lives in there. You can just go in and be in there. You're still gonna be a twin flame. You're still gonna be thinking as a twin flame. You're still gonna be downloading the device. You're still gonna be. There's gonna be a day that's like, you know what? Screw up. I'm gonna get out of this island. It's not gonna happen. That's how the journey is. You're trying to run away from the journey once you awaken. Now sat there. Oh, you're gonna be
That's
put
true.
back in there. You're
That's
trying to run out of it, out of the soup. No, the universe made that soup, buddy. There you go. You're out in there. And oh wow, I think Mary has something to share.
My ADHD is starting to is starting to act up. No, I am so grateful for all of you and your wisdom, and I just, it seems to be like the belief systems is kind of what we've themed into now, and a lot of my belief systems were dismantled, and now in the process of unlearning more than I want to pick something up, because I think that's something we don't emphasize enough is like, yeah, you want to learn these different beliefs and attach, but the unlearning and also recognizing that
Testing your belief systems.
testing them, recognizing that you're going to manifest them true, that true good, truth is relative. And truth is it transforms, and your truth one moment might not be your truth the next moment. I think that's why I'm also hesitant about sometimes coming on, because I'm still questioning, so I don't feel that I'm so firm in one thing. I'm still in a process of discovery. So
what about divine truth, absolute truth?
I don't believe in that. I believe that we are just like infinite potential beings, and I'm just trying to understand that potential, and that the truth is just going to keep
infinite truths.
There's infinite truths,
yeah.
But I think maybe, and I'm going to give my golden nugget now and start us into that, because I got to get to my baby. But I just say then transition us through this, that my golden nugget also would be that truth is relative, good and bad are relative, and just to keep trying to, if you have a belief system, then you see how it's packaged up, and can you look at it bigger? Can you get broader in that? Can you see it from a different place? Offering that to yourself to help navigate your belief systems, to question them, and then also maybe that's gonna reaffirm and ground you deeper into the ones that do resonate with you and resonate true. So
this is why I'm glad I ended up with her. This is why I'm glad I've failed so many times at these soul connections with my ego because I ended up with the one that challenges me. I ended up with the one that is able to hold my energy and who who helps me grow. I should have had a helmet, Dio. I should have had a helmet coming out, but nobody gave me a freaking helmet.
I don't give you a
Nobody.
helmet.
No pads, no security gear at all. They just left me out on my own.
Let me tell you,
Unscripted.
exactly.
Oh.
Let me tell you that, boy, I hit the spot, I mean, the same appreciation I have for her is the same thing. Challenges, when she puts me through a challenge, or I challenge her, or there is a challenge within us, there is something very powerful happen within us. This inner self-built powers kicked in within us, and what we say is, "I'm gonna look into it, and I'm gonna go back to you." It's the same thing that she says, but when she's challenging me, there, when she's looking in there, boy, that woman knows how to challenging me. But you know what? Every time she's challenging me, the more I fall in love with her. I mean, that she brings the best out of me. She tells me how to grow. But you know what? When she's challenging me, she's challenging me with love. I'm looking at her intuition sometimes. We have misunderstandings in there. She tells me something, I think it's something else, and then like I'm blowing up. It's like, what do you mean? And until I get into that, okay, come on, but when we're talking, it's like we feel like something is not okay with the energy, and then it's like, hold on, Dio, you're thinking about this, but I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about this. This is what your challenge is. Then Dio just that expansions that does. Usually every time after she's challenging me, I have a download. Then I'm sharing the downloads with her. She tap into those downloads. She get her downloads, and there, and she's flying up, and then I have to catch up, but I don't have to catch up. I see how she goes up, and all of a sudden we're going in the same. It's kind of like feels like two people that grabs their hands, the one pulls the other, and that's how we are going in there hand by hand. And she knows what to challenge, how to challenge, when to challenge, but in a very, this powerful couple way. Okay, that's not like before in the karmic relationships, like hey, why did you not do this? I look at you, huh? What is like going on in there? No, baby, what are you thinking about? Maybe we should go think. What do you think? Is that gonna be a good challenge for you? And he said, oh, baby, I've been waiting for something this week. Because I know when I go to this challenge, my love's gonna grow. Bring it on, baby.
Yeah, just to clarify, like by challenge, we mean very often we are getting this kind of higher understandings of how the things are organized, even on a soul level, or just how it's in this higher dimensions, realms. And it doesn't fit what we currently believe in. But I'm still getting this kind of pressure that it has to come out. Like I have to ask this question. Why do you think it's possible that this? And I can see sometimes like Dio doesn't like what he what he listens, what he hears from me, but still I have to repeat the question. I just have to get my knowledge, try to get to understand. So it's like really like a calibrating of a belief system. It's just I get some information like out of nowhere, some very weird idea about how we function as souls and all these dynamics. And I start asking questions because I assume that, oh, Dio knows more answers. And then we start talking. But I can see that he doesn't like this new knowledge I tried to propose to him. That was given to me. Like it's not my, it just came. It has to be discussed. So what it just kind of shows you this how you have to rewire some of those old beliefs. Like you used to think that this is not possible, this is not right. But in general, like, is it like, would it be wrong to change your belief system a little bit? Or maybe there's a leftover that in the past someone said these words, but she or he meant this thing. But I'm talking to you right now. This is why you try to look at me with the lens of someone else from the past. So there's a little bit of that can show you how you have to really kind of refresh the way you look into people and how you listen to people.
Talking about the void, oh my God. She opened me to the energies. That was the things that I was missing. But let me tell you something. When I went out engaged through that download through her, I begin to understand something so profound, not even real. I think even the scientists cannot even comprehend. I wrote it on the Facebook about it. Kind of like understanding this, I don't know, maybe alien language way, or I don't know what that is. But I see the improvements. But when I see improvements within me, I'm like, okay, do you improve yourself? Okay, what? You're gonna be polishing your ego? Okay, here's your ego. That is your ego, Dio, and you polish it, beautiful, shining. Ooh, yeah, right? No, don't do that. Long time ago. And here is she is reading the post, and she's like, wow, Dio, you improve your writing skills. You can see, it's different. That's what that is. Okay? That's what that is. She sensed that she gave me that download. I took that energy. I understood what happened, and I give the message to the public. Job complete. He says, Dio. There you go.
Yeah.
And every time when we do this for the collective out there, man, that love between us just gets higher and higher and higher. Sometimes it just gets out of hands. I'm like, we feel great. We're
The
servants.
gratitude, the gratitude from the collective enters into a unified field. Oh wow, okay, so I just want to learn more. I just want to grab more information. I just want to, and then figure more stuff out, and then bring it back. And so Mary's just like, you haven't written an article in a while. I'm like, oh, I'm still working on integrating this one. Like I'm, whoa.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. I'm still
And this
working on.
stage we're in now with the, I didn't even want to say it in the beginning, and Mary was just like, "Oh no, don't jinx it, Ulf, don't jinx it," with the harmonizing and stuff, because it was starting to,
Like what he will write will be tested and made manifest, and it's just like the magic. So he puts the magic out into the field, and then we just like if we have clients come in and they're booking for 4 days ahead of the day that it is, we start to have the themes of what the client's going to need come up, so it's always an amplification and when you're writing
going back into the field. Then yeah. So if I was writing an article on sustaining the connection, we would have like 1 or 2 weeks of testing of will we be able to sustain the connection.
like, oh, is this how you're sustaining the connection?
Oh, I see. Really?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much like that's the team. And remember, there was one thing. Oh, we were. I remember there was a situation that I had one of the past connections coming to me in the past, and I had some opinions from him talking to me something like, "Oh, you've changed. You're not the same person," and all this. And I started like questioning myself. Am I getting out of balance? Anything? And we were kind of started talking through. It's sometimes uncomfortable speaking about past connections, and not to put too much into the current connection. But even those talks, they come for you, those issues, they come for you for a reason, because then you talk it through. And if you've been through that, like people will be or are currently going through that. So I think that's the purpose. Like we are getting this training and understanding, and then once it's set, then it's like production time. And you can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
put it to people.
Because we're at the
Yeah.
frontier. Most people get stuck in that running and chasing stuff, so they don't really get to this part. They don't surrender and get to the other side, connecting with the divine, and then even a return of the twin or another connection or any of that, and begin the real work. So it's like we're at the frontier right now, taking notes and writing back to headquarters to tell the general what's going on at the frontier. And so it's, yeah, so we're lucky, we're blessed.
We're
And
blessed to be doing this. I remember,
absolutely.
when we were all popping up back into what, 10, 15 years ago, whatever it is, 10 years ago, whatever, 8 years, whatever it is. Um, but I'm still happy that we're still out there on the front. We never back down. Yeah, it was the crashes. Yes, there was a challenges. Yes, there was a emotional. Everything was crashed, but it had to be crashed because you are crashing old beliefs. We always
Yeah.
crashed old beliefs. Even right now, the old beliefs are we. Right now, actually, the energies the way they are. Oh my God, we are so cool with the new energies, and the rest of the people are like in this madness and all that, and so on. And you don't experience on them. Why? We got divorced with them. I mean, we get little taste of it because you know how they are. Remember it, and but as you say, to the journey, I was me and Paulina, we actually will look at it like in the Bible, the Jacob's ladder. You know, we're all getting in there, we're all getting in there, we're going to this journey. So we have those angels that goes up, 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 up. You go into the divine. Then from the divine says, "Here, I give you everything that you guys know. Now you have to bring it to heaven." You go down, and every time you go down, you would evaluate the two sides of the ladder, where they are. So you think that it's the same issue, you think it's the same energy, you think it's the same situation. It's not. So whatever you're kind of experiencing, let's say like when you go to the ladders up and you have experiencing this person abandoned you, or this person discarded you, or this person was not good for you, and so on. But you keep going on the ladder, and then God says, "Don't worry about it. You're gonna meet some other people on the road. Come to me, my child. I'll teach you, right?" And you're getting in there, you sit right there, and you're by yourself. There's nobody there. It's you and the divine. Divine says, like, stay put, stay there. You don't know. You're just like, okay, whatever happens. You just sit in the front. You see this giant, beautiful gate in there, these beautiful energies and so on. On the other side, but you can't cross it. You can't cross it, right? Until all of a sudden, it just everything goes on in there. And you're kind of like, doesn't matter. I did what I had. I'm okay with everything that goes on. If I have to continue from now on, it's up in the divine. That is the total surrender. you actually let it go of the need, the codependency, and all that stuff. You clear that out. And all of a sudden, the divine says, "Here's your partner. There you go." I mean, there was a something before, but picture like a divine looking at your two files. Okay, Dio and Paulina. Okay, those two, they are done. Poof, approved to go forward and give it to someone to execute it. And the guy's like, "What do you mean those two? Oh no!" And close. And divine is like, "I said so." No, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
that was a
I
dream
said so.
recently, right?
That was a
This
dream
this guy.
recently. And we had this
Oh,
energies in there without that. We had a laugh about it. But it is what it is. That's how the divine comes. When a divine said so, it said so. They said it. You get the message. You're just like, okay, it is what it is. And when the divine said, you appreciate it. You
I'm getting a
appreciate it.
divine message. I
Yeah.
apologize. I appreciate both of you guys so much. Maybe Ulf can stay and chat a bit longer, but I have to go to my baby.
Okay.
So I'm so sorry, but
no, no worry.
I can
It
feel
was amazing.
the pull. So I just want to honestly thank you guys. I look forward to more. Paulina, I really look forward to connecting with you more. I feel like Dio too. I love Dio too, but just really resonating with your energy and your offering. So thank you guys. I apologize, but I'm gonna run to my baby because that's
Okay.
Yeah, it was
my
nice to
divine
meet
call.
you. Till next time.
Next time.
Always in service.
Always.
Exactly. And so that that's how we divine show us how it is. I mean, I spoke with the people before. It's like when a divine said so, hopefully you don't stay in that way. See when people stays in it. Seen that.
Yeah, but you know what? When it happens, like there has to be this moment of a call to the divine. I really don't mind where my life goes. It's like I'm really ready. Like I don't have any preference. That's the moment that you're ready for the next stage, because the first one is just, oh, maybe during this separation stage when it starts, you start realizing, okay, time for me just to do my work, not run away anymore from my work. But the next stage is really you've done your work and you have your connection with the divine, and then you're ready to say, my life is complete, whatever it has to take me, I'm okay with any kind of direction. And I think that's the moment, is you ask and you receive. It's just because I always reply to you. So the moment you ask about what's the next step, like you don't question your next step. It's just because it would feel wrong. At some point, this sense that that's the right thing to do, to get into a relationship, it was too strong, it was too obvious. Like I was even a little bit concerned to even consider stepping back out of it, because that's what I asked for. So this is even a little bit tricky how intense it can get. But always good to get some reply that if you
Yeah.
ask for, if you're ready for the next step always appears.
Mm.
Mm.
That is that part of I call it the divine secret. Ask and shall receive, but ask for nothing, you receive everything. Oops.
Are you
Oops.
ready?
That
You better be
power.
ready then. You
That
better be ready then.
power
Because if you're
right
not
there.
ready then, you're
And
gonna
10,
lose everything you've ever wanted. And when I
yeah.
realized that, I was like, okay, I better get my shit together now. I better. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna swallow my pride. I'm gonna forget about little old me and be like, okay, how can I navigate this to keep it, to
Mhm.
keep it, and not lose it. And that's just being willing to say, okay, I'm sorry. Um, this one is on me. I gotta figure that out. Or, just be the first one to always, I saw what happened there. It may not even be my fault, but, I don't want to fight about that. I don't want an argument or discussion about that. I just want the peace,
Mm.
and then whatever whatever can be made back in the day in the karmic connections, would be like, I know I'm right, so I'm not gonna. I know I'm right.
Mm. I
I'm
think it
not.
takes a little bit of effort, yeah,
Yeah,
to
Um,
put aside your ego, because it comes from ego, right? Just to see,
yeah,
okay, it doesn't really matter who is right here, who is wrong here. It's just that's what was helping us to get through this connection, when let's say this higher connection was there all the time. And it was very weird to experience that, even if I was I had this need to withdraw. It was just getting too intense. But on a soul level, I could sense the connection is still there. Just on the surface level, were those waves. But it was just really try to put it aside, as you said. Just see yourself as just a little bit like a small piece of all of that, and just put it aside for a
it
moment,
doesn't
and
really
just try
matter.
to see how the energies really want to flow through you. You're just conduit. Like you just don't try to stop those, don't disturb the flow. That's the only thing that people have to realize. It requires some kind of a detachment from yourself, right? Because like we like to be right, we
Yeah,
like to feel okay all the time, and just to feel that everything is um clear. But sometimes it's just really just stepping back and just seeing those things from a higher perspective, and the rest is solved like immediately. Like all of those issues that were there, you start realizing, oh, this is does it really matter?
it doesn't really matter, does it? No. What were we fighting about again? What?
Mhm.
yeah, that was it. About it that when Paulina made it a video or post or however, she mentioned it quite a few times. Uh, can you understand? You get what you need, not what you want. And it was about these positions in there that with her, we're experiencing the journey from point zero. And then we had to go through the same repeating cycle situations as the previous connections. We had to go through the same thing. But this time, I don't act the same. She doesn't act the same. She's like, that's what happened. We had these situations and so on. But I see I'm not acting like this, and you don't acting like that. That's weird. That's awkward. I was expecting that you're gonna act like the guy before, and I was like, that's awkward. I was expecting you're gonna act before, but it doesn't. We felt the energy to act like before, but we both didn't act.
Yeah.
And that's what she was referring into at like, yeah, in a surface level, it looks, it's the same energy, same. But when you look at a deeper level, there was nothing wrong with our soul connection. Absolutely nothing wrong. But we got to go through the test, all those tests, like all those stages. You guys learned this? Yeah. Let's go to the test. Oh, you got the test. Poof. Next. What is your next test? This is like, at the end of the school year, just before the end of the school year, you get the test and all the things that you already studies, right? And you're like, I have a test on this, I have a test on that, I have a test on that and that and that. That's how it felt like. That's what we're talking about it. But with her, that was like we were on the same team. We were in the same classroom. We know all our materials. We were equal to each other. And all we have to do is show up to the class and, guys, here is your test. We got this.
Yeah, I just have to replay the experience. It's just you need to upgrade your personality to the proper level. So if you didn't get it right for the first time, you will get the same experience, but then you have this awareness, it's just, it didn't work. Let me play it a different way. And I think that's how we are getting our upgrades, or just rebuilding our personality, because it has to be on a proper level too.
Mhm.
None of my soul connections had a previous soul connection. So I would experience the same thing in every soul connection, but no awareness of it from the other. Just complete denial. And I'm like, oh my God, here it is again. And then like complete narcissistic templating from either from grandma or from mother or father, some denial of no, I did not say that, I did not do that, or and gaslighting and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta be really, really sharp here. I gotta really stay lucid in this space in order not to lose myself. It was like a complete bad trip, like your reality just not working with you. When I'm like, I've I've been in this 3 times now. What's going on?
You haven't learned the
What?
lesson, huh?
Oh, okay, okay. So then I had to like own it, even though it wasn't mine in that moment. I knew that okay, but in order to keep the peace, in order to keep that energy, and then I'm like, okay, um, how am I then gonna work through those energies and templates when there is no accountability for that energy? Then I realized I was fucked. I was fucked. The other person couldn't work through something they would not be accountable for. You have to own it in order for it to release. And so I was owning it through that, and I realized, okay, I got narcissistic templating through my grandparents and through my everyone who has not done inner child work is a narcissist. Sorry, everyone who has not healed the inner child has narcissism. That's why this planet is full of orphans. Basically, we have children raising children because they are not spiritually mature yet. They're not in spiritual adulthood. They're in spiritual immaturity. Okay, so what am I dealing with here? I have to I have to just allow the other person to be in complete denial, but I can't be in connection with that. And then the connection starts to dissolve. They pull away, and I experience an end of the connection again. And it happened in the same exact way. But then, when Mary showed up with accountability, but she had not done the full inner child work yet, but she was willing to own it. She was willing to, okay, this was me. So there was a level of lucidity there that she had from her Toltec training and things. So it worked to our benefit, where we were able to work through the things that were showing up, and all of a sudden I'm like, thank goodness. I couldn't have done another soul to soul connection where there's complete denial, complete like, it's all you, Wolf. This is all you. Oh my God, oh, Wolf. And I'm like sitting there seeing through them, and I can see their grandmother coming through their face. I can see the ancestral energy coming through them, and they're like, no, Wolf.
But you cleared it out before Mary came, because your lesson was done. Like, since you say the
Yeah.
connection started to dissolve, right? So you got your lesson, and right now, like, you don't have to repeat your lesson. So you didn't get any other, narcissist coming
No.
your way. But this topic, like, it almost got me out of this connection, those fears, because the level of similarity in the journey, I was like, I really don't want to get through this all. What if my mind is blind? What if I'm not recognizing any traits that are red flags because I'm in a bubble love? And I had to battle that with my mind. But you know what I realized? if I'm supposed to overcome this, like I will keep repeating and I will keep attracting the same people. So it's not the issue of the person who is out there. It's the issue that I have to solve something and believe that my mind is strong enough to recognize that, because it just showed me, don't you trust yourself? Like you're able to recognize if things go south. Like you won't be, you will catch those red flags. I had to kind of convince myself that you don't know what's going on. Like you don't know actually the person on the opposite side. You have to trust that everything is fine, right? And it's just, if things at any moment start revealing themselves, like this is your responsibility, but you cannot try to escape and run away from the connections, because if you have to overcome this, it will be haunting you in this connection on the next 10 next
Oh yeah.
connection. So that was kind of, but that was the very big fear. And I remember trying to understand, and that maybe there will be some kind of a mental situation over here, or some of some of those narcissistic traits. But I kind of had to really look into, those are my fears, and it seemed to be really projections from the past. So that was real, though, felt real.
I experienced it over and over again, and I was like, oh my god. And every time I would enter a new connection, they would get the dark night of the soul, and then they would blame me for having realizations about themselves and having, you know, horrible downloads about the truth of who they were and what they had to heal. And I'm like, oh my god, this is not my fault.
Just a catalyst.
If you don't want to see that, that's what that goes in there. I mean, for 1 year, I actually studied psychology and narcissism. Truly, I mean, I was like, boy, I like 4 or 5 hours. I was looking at psychology posts. I was looking at listen to a psychologist there talk about this. Even some other psychologists confirming within them with their own beliefs, like twin flames, all the twin flame connections of narcissist impact situations, this so on and so on. I
All of
look at it.
2015 and 2016, same year. All of those 2 years, day and day, night.
So I went in and I studied it, and all the personality problems, their immaturity, and then I begin to track. Oh, actually, last year I had a lot of clients that were like grandma, son, or daughter, and grandchild. They begin to see the problem within the grandchild, and they're like, "What the heck is going on to you?" And I look at it and I trace it. I found the links within the astrology, and I was able to go ahead and fix those issues, and all this. But talking about us, since we both have that narcissistic experience with them before, we were both a little bit red flags. But now, since we both healed, because I was in my personal journey, she was in her personal journey. We both know the right way. Here's what happens. The red light comes in, is like, hey, look at these situations. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be acting like before. I'm not acting like before. But inside of me is like, maybe she's gonna react. The biggest connections I have. God, what the heck? And inside our soul connections, there is in there is like, dear, trust it. Trust in a God, He knows what He's doing. And inside of me is like, oh, I trusted that the last time. And inside of me, and inside of me is like, I feel her energy and the divine. It's like, deal, you passed your test, buddy. This is not the same. She's gonna show you. She's coming back. The proper actions, talk over whatever the issue was. You want proof? Actions. Prove it. Not the words, not the energy, not the things. the act. And you're right, Wolf. You know, we put our act together, and ever since our act, when we put it together, we begin appreciate the divine, we doing it, so on, and looking at for a brighter future. That's all.
But you know what is just to add to that,
Yeah.
it's really, I'm happy to be connected to you guys, because that's what we were discussing, this kind of idea of a union, that it's starts from individual, but then of course, like the next point is having a partner, but it goes beyond that. It was just this piece was missing. This community was, maybe, I don't want to say that people were not doing it at all, but I feel it's not enough of this kind of getting together and just sharing this knowledge. And it's not like we have the twin flame couple in union and they have to preach what they understood. It's really like to have this community growing, just because I think that's how we expand too, because you can share your consciousness with not just one person. Like, why would you want to share that with just one person? Like, you can just, that's what Dio said. You said this vision that you have, the void, pieces coming together, getting stronger and stronger. Why you want to have just two pieces? So I feel I'm very excited about how it's coming, and even for the workshop, but just I can see it moving forward. Just we can get together more people as a community, not just as a, you know two set of two teachers. It's way bigger than that.
Yeah, it's us living. We're living the connections. We're living the unions, and we're sharing. And no one union is the same. So some might resonate with your story, and not with our story, and some might resonate with our story, not with your story, and then you have all these different belief systems and backgrounds and religions and all these different things, which some are really still attached to, and that's okay, and because you can still experience the divine through religious indoctrination, of course, and you can still have a soul to soul connection with religious indoctrination, 100%. Um, so it's just a matter of all the different aspects and flavors just being more visible, and it's like we're in, like in Star Wars, in the Republic, right? These various planets, and we are kind of the two representatives of each planet coming together in a union, in Parliament, in the Galactic Republic. That's kind of how I feel this. Um,
Oh,
and
totally. There is a reason people are different. Like, if each couple will be different, of course, but it doesn't mean that this one is right, this one is wrong. It's just how can we work with these differences so more we can reach more people with that. Because as you said, we resonate with different kind of people, but the truth stays the same. Like, at the core, like, we share the same experience, like we understood the process. So I think it's
You can share it from the bad experience that leads to the truth. You can share it from the good experience that leads to the truth. But the truth is one. You can't change that truth. But the people who are stuck with an old core, with old beliefs, with what is they call, go back into the film. You're filming yourself. You know what I'm talking about in there. So happy that you're a Star Wars fan. May the force be with you in there. But
I
talking
saw
of,
your Instagram handle, Mr. Obi-Wan, so
Obi-Wan is the one character that pretty much plays in all the movies, together with C-3PO and R2-D2.
yeah.
But the Obi-Wan was the only one who actually understood the whole journey, how Anakin Skywalker was created to become a narcissist, because the master, like Palpatine, made Anakin Skywalker to become a narcissist. Why? Unhealed wounds of missing his mother. Even at the beginning, when Anakin went into that, in the front of the Jedi temple in there, yes, he got the energy. He got more midichlorians, more than even Yoda, the highest midichlorian count ever accounted. He had it within him. And what is Yoda says? He's too old. And he asked him, you have too much fear. That fear can lead you to your anger. It cannot, you should not be trained when you have anger in there. But to go into all this, it was about you to become that teacher to understand what it was. The greatest part of this movie is that Anakin Skywalker killed himself and become Darth Vader. That's what Obi-Wan expressed to Luke. And it says like, at the moment Anakin Skywalker become Darth Vader killed Anakin, the personality from it. But what did the Luke knew? There was something good in him. And that's what it was all about, is that we all have the good result and personality from it, what it needs to be in there. But the real true narcissist is who helped him. That's what there was about it. But he was never, he even misguided the whole parliament. Come on. Like a typical,
We're living that right now in our world, in our.
I see
I
that.
don't talk too much about that in my channel either. I like to stay out of the conspiracies.
Yes.
But art tends to imitate life, or life imitates art, or whatever they say.
Man, oh yeah, scratching my tongue, right? We know what's going on by the energies. We know who is the Empire and who is the Republic. We know what's cooking.
We know who the Jedis are too, my friend.
Oh.
That's so funny though, because Mel, when I was doing my training with Mel, he was always referring to me as Luke Skywalker, and it was, and that was like an internal joke that we had, and nobody else knows about that but me and Mel. And then I saw your Instagram handle, and I'm like, all right, Mel, I see what you're doing. You're still with us. Yeah, you're still, yeah. No wonder I'm supposed to be playing with Dio and Polina, because it's
Yeah.
That's a pleasure.
This
It's
is
a
the
pleasure.
path. This is the
Yeah.
path.
The path is only one.
Like they say in the Mandalorian, this is the way. This is the way. I have spoken.
Only thing I will says about to kind of like wrap this up here, even all put that together, even the movie, the Star Wars. The Star Wars is all about one thing: balance, balance between the dark and the light within the Force. Eventually, we as a twin flames evolving to more higher dimensions here, you're gonna begin to understand the full force when you understand the void, the dark side. And you're gonna understand the universe, the creation. That if there is no balance between them, there will be no creation. There's always gonna be fight. But when you understand that everything begins from within the void with one purpose, because two small, very small particles of radiations decide to say one question: what will happen if we two come together? Not these separations all over the place, and they become together, and they become bigger light. And now all this darkness see this beautiful light, and they all begin to look at it, they begin to copy it, and they become to come in the pairs. And all of a sudden they all come together and they become the first atom. And then the first electron was made. There was a big flash of light. And more comes in. and then build the next chemical elements, and then the next chemical elements, and then the first star was created. And then God said, let it be a light. And then,
If anyone wants to know where the twin flame journey began, that's where they gotta look.
go back to the source, buddy.
Yeah.
Into the void.
But thanks to her, I got to this.
The
See?
darkness gave birth to the light.
I told
What
you
more-
void is not
What
bad,
more
and
do
he
you
was
want to
talking.
know? So, in the beginning, did the dark side create the Jedi? There's question here that I need answered.
May the force be with you.
Yes. May the force be with us all, my friend.
Yeah. All right. Was the great talk.
And if we
Alright.
go in
Awesome.
search of the force,
What?
if we go in search of the force, if we go in search of the divine, we don't need to do all this other stuff and, you know, ask everybody else what the time is and what the information is. Right?
Yeah, that's the best source of information if you need anything. So, you know.
Absolutely. Then you will know the twin within. And then you will not need and want and long and hurt and be in pain anymore.
I'm
You're just getting activated more and more.
Yeah, I'm getting jolts. That guy is always with me. And,
I call it the Kundalini shivers. I live for those.
Let me tell you something, Wolf. I'm sharing it with you up here. Sometimes when she activates those, okay? I mean, lately, you know, I usually get, okay, the shivers, you know, it's good. It goes through my hands and up to right here. Lately, ever since we crossed that understanding about the void and the total energy and creations of twin flames and the correlations within the void, because everything began there. The good, the bad, and the ugly began there and to the void. Because there was energies that said, what's going to happen if you will come together? And there is energies that says, I want to be on my own. I don't want to be with nobody. I want to have this light for me. You see, there is two types of voids in there. But the void is one more thing. Inside of you, there is this void that does not want to do the inner work. These things that you are avoiding to do.
Avoiding, exactly.
Avoiding. And that's what happens is the avoiding of understanding the electricity, the connections, the purpose, that you have purpose here. A lot of people lost their purpose, and some of the twin flames, they lost that purpose in there. And then you begin to understand this oneness even more, completely higher level of understanding that the universe, the lights, the energy, the stars, the galaxies, and everything, and the void, they're the same thing. They're the yin and yang. You can't go with the one within the other. But they gotta have a balance. Because they all want to be happy. Both.
Absolutely.
You can't just have all the stars and all the universe and everything, and there is no void.
I have to have a background for that. So.
But most people forget. They see the yin and the yang and they're like, oh, I need my yin. I need my yang. Where's my other? But they forget that circle that is holding them both together. The divine. That's keeping them. So they focus on that other one, that other thing that is naturally there, that is supposed to magnetize and polarize and gravitate naturally. And since all that focus is on that and they forget about the circle.
And then God whispered to yin and yang, what's gonna happen if you will all come together? That questions has so much deeper meaning in there, with the energies, with the force, with organizations. That thing, because that thing it says, what is our purpose? The same thing with the divine. What is all these creations? What is this all created for? It? Why are you here on Earth? Why are you here in this universe? What are you doing here? What is your purpose? Huh? What is your purpose? You find it. You go up in there. I'm so happy
Right
we're
there
in
in our
this.
blueprint. Just to be.
You feel that power of the
Be-
energies right now of the Jedi's, right? You feel that energy. I know you do.
Thank you guys so much for this
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Thank
It was so
you.
lovely to meet you finally.
So
And
good to
looking
meet you
forward
too.
for more.
And
All
look
right.
forward to doing this more and
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
to
We'll
our
see.
event.
Maybe
We're gonna-
we can do a one life maybe, whatever guys you're free or something, and we can arrange something maybe
keep
next
giving
weekend.
them a little bit of a pre-taste, a sample of what it is that we're going to be doing at the
If they have any idea about with the new energies what we are about to give it to them.
then we're going to put one of these underneath their seats and light them up.
Oh my god. No, I'm talking about if they
It's
have
going to get
any,
warm up in that place.
if they
Even though
knew.
the air conditioner is on, it's going to be like, ooh, I'm sweating over here.
People need that, so.
No, people really need that, kick in a.
I
All right.
really have
Okay,
to go.
baby,
I'll see you all
asking.
very, very
It's
soon.
lovely to meet you again.
All right. Bye bye.
Soon.
And
Bye.
see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.